This week's Weekly Ritual is dedicated to you, the awesome fans that support us here on YouTube, our website ghostcoldman.com, and everywhere else. Thank you. What's up, everybody? It's Keefe. You're watching another edition of the Weekly Ritual, Ghost Cult's news show, right here on YouTube. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. GhostCultMan.com is a small business. With that out of the way, let's get into it. We kick this week's features off with the big one. We talked to Howard Jones of Light the Torch. Light the Torch's new album, You Will Be the Death of Me, is out this week on Nuclear Blast, and Howard, the former Killswitch Engage frontman, talked about a great many topics you will find amazing. We also talked to James Kent, aka Perturbator, the avant-garde dance and electronic music artist, dropped a recent album, Lustful Sacraments, on Blood Music. We also talked to Elias Soriano of Nonpoint all about their new single and video for Ruthless and their launch of their new record label. We also dropped a new edition of our 5-minute reviews where we tackled Fear Factory's brand new album, Aggression Continuum, out now. You still have time to enter to win free passes to watch Anthrax at their 40th anniversary live stream event this July. Enter on Instagram at the link below. And now the news rundown. Festivals and shows are back, my friends. It's crazy out there. There's new festivals and shows getting announced every day, and we're gonna try to bring you the best of the best. We may not have them all, but we've got a bunch. Hellfest Open Air has announced their huge comeback festival for 2022, and it could be one of the greatest festivals of all time, without exaggeration. Metallica, Guns N' Roses, 9 Inch Nails, Judas Priest, Scorpions, Megadeth, Korn. It's insane. We got the whole poster right here and the lineup at the link below. Our favorite metal bar in America, St. Vitus Bar in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, is back. They announced a slate of brand new shows. Amazing artists. A lot of them are already more than half sold out, so you better get your tickets if you're in the New York State area and you make it out for shows. Algiers, King Woman, the Acacia Strain, and many more are already booked to play, with many more coming, my friends. Coheed and Cambria have announced a co-headline summer tour this year with The Used. Tickets are already on sale for that one. Seven Dust and Tremonti have booked a co-headline tour in a pairing of awesome rockers who've played together many times. This is a banger and one not to miss, my friends. As a warm-up to their tour with Primus this summer, The Sword has announced a handful of dates with Wizard Rifle. A lot of stoner rock and weed vibes at that show. Primus tours going forward all summer. Unfortunately, Wolfmother has had to drop off the Primus tour because they had visa problems and cannot get into the country. Soulfly has announced a late summer tour in the US. Nivian and our pals and Suicide Puppets are going to open, and it's going to be a rager. You haven't had enough thrash metal in your life? Get your ass to the LA Thrash Bash this summer. Co-headlined by Hyrax and Evil Dead, two of the greatest LA metal bands ever. There's a whole bunch of bands yet to be announced. Look at this poster, it's old school. This show's gonna be awesome. Hailstorm and Evanescence have announced a new co-headline tour. Danny Carranos, aka Amigo the Devil, has announced a humongous headline tour. We talked about this in our recent interview with him, that he was booking a tremendous amount of dates. Tejon Street Thieves will be the opening act. What a perfect pairing. If you're more hardcore, Knocked Loose has announced a huge headline tour of America with support from Gatecreeper and Magnitude. We Came as Romans will finally celebrate the 10th anniversary of their To Plant the Seed tour, which was supposed to happen in 2020, but that's now booked for this fall. Direct support on the tour is going to come from The Devil Wears Prada, Dayseeker, and Hollowfront. Foo Fighters, coming off the powerhouse show they had at Madison Square Garden, have announced a show in July at the LA Forum. No word yet if there's going to be social distancing policies. California is one of the most vaccinatingest ass states in the whole country in the US. Awesome news for Foo Fighters. We've got some more Foo Fighters news coming up soon. Not all the news is good. We end on a bummer note on this segment as the Black Deer Festival in the UK has had to postpone their show suddenly last week. The show would have taken place this weekend. It's a real bummer. They had sold 15,000 tickets, but the British government had decided that they could not have mass gatherings right now with more than 4,000 people. So a super bummer. Hopefully they rebook for next year or another time. Sad news for Wardruna, as they have had to once again postpone their North American tour dates of the US and Canada. Very sad. Originally scheduled for 2020, then rebooked for 2021, now happening in the fall of 2022. All dates are announced with tickets on sale. They added 2 new dates, Atlanta and Durham, for you Southern Americans who want to go catch some incredible Nordic folk music. But unfortunately, this tour's got to be postponed. As you know, Ghost Cold, we did a big giveaway with them, and we continue to promote this tour, and we'll be thrilled when it finally happens. Crit Raven is out now. Einar Selvik of Wardruna also contributed to the Assassin's Creed soundtrack, so lots of good things happening for them. Unfortunately, not these tour dates yet. Download Festival held their Download Pilot Fest. This is a bit of good news. 10,000 plus unmasked, no social distancing fans camped out, enjoyed rock and metal from bands such as Frank Carter and the Rattlesnakes and Bullet for My Valentine, and it was deemed a success. Fans who attended had to show either proof of vaccination, which the UK hasn't had that much vaccinations, but also submit to a test and then get a test a few days after. This was considered a huge success. Maybe this is a model for the future. Hoping to get the Download Festival back next summer full force. Big news from Mastodon as they have announced an awesome exclusive live streaming event where they're going to play Unplugged live at the Georgia Aquarium. What a perfect match for the band and the aquarium. Money from every ticket sold to the live stream will benefit the aquarium, and Mastodon has released the poster, new merch, a whole bunch of stuff supporting this event. This is going to be killer. Great job, Mastodon, supporting your community in Georgia and Atlanta. Awesome stuff. In huge Metallica news, they have announced 2 new releases this summer. The Black Album is getting its long-rumored 30th anniversary deluxe remaster, ginormo box set package. You can only imagine this thing. It's got LPs, it's got CD versions, like 17 CDs, it's got a ton of digital stuff, it's got a tabletop book of photos and stuff. It's insane. On top of that, they also announced the Black Album Blacklist album, which is going to have 53 pop and rock artists, mostly pop artists actually, and some country and dance and world music artists from around the globe, covering the Black Album. 53 versions of Black Album songs. You definitely did not ask for this. There's a few awesome bands on here: St. Vincent, Weezer, Royal Blood, Juanes, but some of this stuff is like, I didn't ask for this. You can watch the video from Miley Cyrus and Elton John's cover of Nothing Else Matters right now. Major news from the Megadeth camp as Dave Mustaine on his Gimme Metal show announced that David Ellefson's bass lines on the upcoming completed Megadeth album will be wiped out and completely replaced by his replacement, as yet to be announced. This is a bit of a shock to fans, but shouldn't be too much of a shock. Ellefson was dismissed from Megadeth because of this sex scandal we've been reporting on for weeks and weeks, and unfortunately his parts will be removed with every trace gone. No word yet on who that bassist will be, but Mustaine says he's a major player and everyone's gonna know who he is. Legendary Korn co-founder and bassist Fieldy has announced a hiatus from Korn effective immediately. He will not be participating in any Korn activities, including their upcoming headline tour of the US with Stained. Fieldy has expressed some remorse about this, that he's got some personal issues he needs to take care of that is perhaps damaging his standing in the band, and he doesn't want to hurt the band. The band has reached out and said publicly that they support Fieldy, they love him, and he'll be back. No news yet on who a replacement would be for Fieldy. Obviously, he's been with the band for almost 30 years. Very sad to hear about this. Get well soon, get right soon, Fieldy. Huge news from King Diamond. In a new interview with Eddie Trunk on his SiriusXM show, the King himself said that not only will King Diamond have a new album in 2022, so will Merciful Fate. This is amazing news for metalheads and heavy metal fans everywhere, as we have been waiting with bated breath for both of these bands to drop new albums. Merciful Fate had headline tour dates all over the world. They still will perform at a bunch of festivals next summer. King Diamond continues to perform as a solo act with his incredible band and will be at Psycho Las Vegas this summer, but we are excited for these 2 new albums to drop in 2022. If you had any doubt of the effectiveness of Record Store Day at driving money to small businesses, record shops, and into the pockets of bands, well, here you go with some hard data and cold hard facts. Billboard magazine has announced that Record Store Day dropped #1 on June the 12th, raised over $1.5 million for small businesses, record stores, bands, and labels. This is killer. That's not even the final numbers, that's just the early numbers. This is really great. Obviously, all the music industry was hit hard by the pandemic, and Record Store Day, which had already existed for years, is just a great way to raise awareness of local record shops, get really cool collector's records into the hands of fans, and make a little money for bands. This is super cool. The next Record Store Day drop is July 17th. Carcass is back with a brand new album, Torn Arteries, out September 17th on Nuclear Blast, and they dropped a brand new single, crushing Kelly's Meat Emporium, which is like a hybrid death metal grindcore song, almost an old school Carcass song in parts. They had a killer EP last year, and obviously their classic album Surgical Steel out 5 years ago. Here's that additional Foo Fighters news we promised you. The band played in Madison Square Garden this week and were joined by none other than guest star comedian Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle is probably the greatest comedian in the world right now. He came on stage. Dave's quite the musician himself, in case you didn't know. He's an accomplished jazz pianist, and he actually used to book and collaborate with all the musical guests on his legendary Chappelle show back in the day on Comedy Central. And Dave performed a cover of Radiohead's Creep with Foo Fighters, where Dave sang lead. Bananas! In other news from Foo Fighters, they are for some reason covering a whole half album of Bee Gees covers on their new album Hail Satin. I like the puns. I'm not so crazy about the Bee Gees. Half the album will be Bee Gees covers and half of Medicine at Midnight, their recent full-length album. Good luck to y'all on this. I'm glad it's coming out for Record Store Day, which is going to help record stores, but I don't care about the Bee Gees, and I don't think most rock and metal fans do. Red alert, y'all! Shadows Fall is back. As they have been teasing and as we have been reporting, Shadows Fall has announced a reunion headline show at their home venue, the Worcester Palladium in Massachusetts, in Worcester, Mass. They are coming back with a huge comeback show. Get hype. Opening acts on the show are going to be the Acacia Strain, Sworn Enemy, Carnivora, and more. It's going to be sick. 6 in the morning, police at my door. Fresh Adidas squirk across the bathroom floor. The grind is real, my friends. Win the Grammy in March. Back in the studio in June. That's Ice-T and Body Count for you. Working on brand new music. The follow-up to Carnivore, their smash 2020 hit album. Hot news from Helmet. The legendary hardcore and metal band has dropped an awesome mini box set of 7-inch singles, including covers by David Bowie and Wire, as well as their own songs. This is a limited edition. It's definitely priced to move and gonna sell out. A unique and cool item from Helmet, who is working on a brand new album. We are here for some more Helmet and cool new Helmet things. New York extreme and black and death metal band Viserion has dropped a brand new single, The Wraith, featuring none other than the Black Dahlia Murders' Trevor Stannard on lead vocals. The track comes off their upcoming new album, Natural Selection, due this summer. Progressive death metal band White Stones is back with a new album and a new single. Dancing into Oblivion is coming soon. The band features Martin Mendez, the bassist of OPEC, on lead vocals, guitar, and bass. Avant-garde supergroup Satanic Planet is out with a brand new single and a short film for their song Devil in Me. The band features Church of Satan leader Lucien Graves, as well as Dave Lombardo, Justin Pearson, and Luke Henshaw. Loma Vista Recordings finally released their long-awaited album, The Dark Knights Death Metal Project, featuring collaborations with composer Tyler Bates and a bunch of metal and rock artists. They dropped the last-minute single before the album dropped, Health, Tyler Bates, and Chino Moreno, crushing it on a new song with an animated visualizer. This is a great album. Pick it up. There's a vinyl version with gorgeous cover art that's all DC Comics related. Pick this bad boy up right now at your local record shop. Sad news is legendary New Jersey record store Vintage Vinyl is set to close at the end of July after 42 years in business. 42 years at anything is an amazing feat. The co-owners of the store who founded the store, Rob and Donna, when they founded the store 42 years ago, they were just in their early 20s, and now they are closing up shop and retiring and spending time with their children and family. And we're sad to see it go, but good luck and enjoy your retirement, Rob and Donna. Thank you for the memories. Legendary post-hardcore band These Arms of Snakes are back. They have announced a reunion. That's right, they've been disbanded for quite a long time. They've announced a reunion show at Neumos, the world-famous club in Seattle, and they are back. We'll see if it leads to new music or extended tours, but we're really excited to get them back, even for just one show. Bassist Mia Wallace has reunited with a bot. She was actually kicked out of the band by their manager in 2020 during the fallout and issues with the bot that they were having on the road. She is back in the band. She is going on tour with the band. She might be working on new music with them. They have a new album in the works, apparently. She is still in Nervosa. Don't freak out. Nervosa is still awesome and still a thing. We would love to chat with Mia or Bot someday. That would be amazing. The new drummer of High on Fire is, drum roll, pun intended, Cody Willis of Big Business. They played their first show in years this past weekend in Austin, Texas, and Cody was on the drums. Then they welcomed him in with a social media post hailing him as the new drummer. He replaces Des Kensel, who quit a few years back, to do other things. And Chris Maggio, formerly of Dillinger Escape Plan and other bands, has been on the road with them for a while, but he is apparently not the permanent choice. Cody is the drummer. He's a monster drummer. Hopefully this new gig doesn't take Cody away from big business, or perhaps the two bands can tour together. That would be sick. This weekend in New Jersey, Disciples of Verity will finally have their record release show. Pragmatic Sanction is out now, and you can buy it from their website or Bandcamp. The show is going to feature Disciples of Verity and another supergroup, Living Wreckage. Living Wreckage features members of the Shadows Fall. Disciples of Verity features members of Living Color, God Forbid, Negative Sky, and more. And you don't want to miss it if you're in the New Jersey area. Cop a ticket and rock the fuck out. I shit you not. Unbelievable stories you can't make up. We bring you the feel-good story of the Linda Lindas. The Linda Lindas are a preteen punk rock band from LA, and they have signed to Epitaph Records. This all comes on the heels of their viral sensation and their track Racist Sexist Boy, inspired by true events, an actual racist behavior from a young white boy against these young girls, some of whom are Asian. This is really terrible, but a great thing has come out of this terrible experience. They made this inspiring song, they became a viral hit, they actually have a bunch of good songs in the works, and they're gonna make this record at Epitaph. You always judge a band with children very slowly, but hopefully this is really great and inspires a lot of other young girls to start bands and stand up to fucking bullies. And if you're a fucking bully or a racist, go run into fucking traffic, you asshole. And now for a look at who rules its streaming. This week's Who Rules It Streaming, we focus once again on Metal Injection's Slay at Home Fest. They held their final epic extravaganza Slay at Home event with tons and tons of bands, panels on the music industry, and generally a bunch of awesomeness. Rather than read off a whole list of bands, I just want to send a shout out to Metal Injection for raising tens of thousands of dollars for charity over the last year and supporting bands, especially underground bands, during this tough time in the business. Cheers!
And now for a look at some of the music on New Music Friday. The Absence, Coffinized, M Theory, Beartooth, Below, Red Bull Records, Belef, Silent Genesis, Narcoleptica, Buckcherry, Hellbound, Round Eye and Earache, Cathexis, Untethered Abyss, Willowtip Records, De Arma, Strayed in Shadows, Troll Music, Death Chant, Waste, Riding Easy, Enslaved, the Cinematic Tour 2020 album releases, Nuclear Blast, Exit Wounds, Heaven is Empty, Hell is in My Mind, EP, Seek and Strike, Hellish Form, Remains, Translation Lost, Hyreus, Solitary, Napalm Records, Kilter, Cis EP, Alternative Label, Conquera, Sexual Affective Disorder re-release, Hammerheart, Lacuna Coil, Live from the Apocalypse, Century Media, La Merde, La Vie Noire, Signal Rex, Light the Torch, You Will Be the Death of Me, Nuclear Blast, Sudakra, Wolfbite, MDD Records, Thy Catafalque, Vadak, Season of Mist, Tommy Concrete, Hexenzirkel, Trepnation Records, Urn, Serpent and Spirit, Candlelight Records, and Withered, Verloren, Season of Mist.
And now for a look in our mailbag. This week's mailbag features this awesome custom postcard we got from our friend Lindsay Schoolcraft. This is part of her Patreon, which we're a member of, because it's awesome to support awesome artists you love. We've interviewed Lindsay many times. The former Cradle of Filth singer, keyboard, and harpist is working on her solo career. She's working on another new solo album. She's doing awesome collabos. She's updating her fans. She's got a killer black metal supergroup Antiqua coming out with members of a bunch of killer bands. And this Patreon is the way to stay inside of her process, get unique custom songs no one else will ever hear, and unique content just for you. She's got very affordable tiers to support her art, help her out and do this. Thank you, Lindsay, for sending us this awesome card. We'll just read this guy from you on the back. Thank you for being one of the first to join me on this new adventure. Big love, Lindsay. Amazing. And it's numbered and everything. This is a great, gorgeous piece of art, and I'm really glad to support an artist I care about. Support the artists you love by buying merch from them from Bandcamp, supporting their Patreons, buying from their Etsy stores if they have other lines of business. Help the artists you love after this tough time in the world. You made it to this part of the show, so you know what time it is. It's the end. GhostColdMag.com is a small business. Thanks so much for supporting us. Drop us a comment, tell us what you love, tell us what you hate. We'll be checking your homework. As we say every week at this juncture of the show, it's a tough time in the world. So please, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and stay insane!